but it says off air, so I'm just checking. Ah, we are on. I love it. I love it. So, hey peeps, this is Marci Lock, and we're locking it down on Marci Lock TV. Today is one of my favorite days. We all know, because it's when I get to I shower. I showered for you, Adrienne, and for all the viewers. I know. It's like when I'm on TV, there's a shower involved. It's one of my favorite days because literally I get to interact with some of like the most phenomenal people. And I get to share these this gift of outlook and perception of what is possible. And so the Marci Lock TV show is really about this. It's about the concepts that I believe in, and going from, you know, a waitress, becoming a single mom after finding out I had a cheating husband, became divorced, had 2 little boys at 4 and 1 years old, making $2 an hour. I went and became a waitress because I was like, how in the world do I take care of my little boys still full time and create an income? Going from there to a space where I get to make over 6 figures a month, living a passion and a purpose. And this is that journey was discovering who I truly am, remembering the goddess that I'm meant to be, remembering, you know, the truth and the source of being connected to who I am. And so this intention is to prove to people that you can have it all. And that's a belief system that is lacking in our societies, that we can't have it all. And what most people find is they focus on one area of your life, might be business, and your relationships suck and fall away. Or so then you put attention in your relationships, and then your business starts to suffer, etc. And Adrienne, I know I got to experience Adrienne because she got to actually coach with me last year, and I'll get into this amazing guest that we have on today. But I know that was an experience for a lot of people as we go into this, okay, how do I do more? How do I share my gifts, my talents, abilities, and then balance it all? And that's why we're actually talking about balance today. I love talking about the core subjects of life and how to get into it. So if you haven't joined us before, then you're in for a treat, and you can actually access all of the past Marci Lock TV shows, the Warrior Woman radio shows, all my fun stuff on my app that's actually just coming out. You can actually opt in right now for early bird to have access as soon as it's available. Recipes, Adrienne and I were just talking about this. We're so stoked that we've got access to all this. So if you haven't joined us before, then you have access to get to all that, and you can even download this or get into all the goodies there. And you can go to mindbody90.com to be able to access my free video series on breaking through the lies and getting the truth to liberate you in the body and the life that you want. So today, though, the subject that we get to focus on is balance. And the reason I felt inspired to reach out to Adrienne and have her be a part of today is because she's an amazing example of a woman who is standing fully in her truth and her power. She's sharing her passion, her purpose. She's a mother of 2. She's happily married. I love her husband. Actually got to go through my program as well with her, and he's amazing as well. But I'm going to let her kind of share her story, and then we can get into these golden nuggets that I know she has, is how she balances doing what she does, where she trains and teaches thousands. She works with huge companies and corporations, and she's also balancing the life of living a mom and going to Disneyland how many times a year? Eh?
Oh, geez. Last year I went 27 times.
27 times this last year, right? And so Adrienne took me for the first time. I went with my little boys, had never created Disneyland. I think I went with my family when we were like 2. I grew up extremely poor. So I had never experienced Disneyland, and I wanted to create that with my boys. And the best person to go with was, of course, Adrienne, because she's the ultimate knowledgeable genius at Disneyland. So that was awesome. So Adrienne, I'm going to turn it over to you. And I just want to start with the question and ask you to share. And I know you believe in being totally authentic and real with everyone else as well. And I would love you to share with them your story, or at least let us know, who are you? Who are you, Adrienne?
Thanks, Marci. Well, my name is Adrienne Thomas. I live in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Like Marci said, she was an awesome coach for me last year. My heart is full of gratitude for Marci Lock. My husband and I, we will forever be grateful for Marci. She has literally changed our lives, and I never thought possible. So where I'm at now is balance for me is living a life free of concerns and a life free of fear. And years ago, my life was not like that at all. My life was full of fear. I don't know if you guys have heard this. Fear resembles false evidence appearing real. And I don't know how much true that statement could be. I would wake up in fear, trying to control my life, trying to control my emotions. It was so draining. Through that, living a life through a fear, I walked through addictions. I chose to use a lot of alcohol and a lot of drugs in my teen days. And at that time, I did not understand what feelings were coming up for me, who I was at that time, where I was even going with my life. And fear just completely ran over my life. And I finally hit a rock bottom, and I chose to get treatment. And I've been sober for 16 years now, 15 years. So it's been a while. I take it a day at a time. And back then, it was not easy for me at all. Going through addictions and then getting married and having children at a young age without a college degree, barely graduating high school, right? I was struggling. We were living our lives from paycheck to paycheck. Had 2 kids to raise. You know, back in the day, I've lost a home. I've had my utilities turned off. I didn't have enough money for groceries. I'm sure you can relate, Marci, getting paid $2 an hour, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know how it is. And I didn't know that my life could be any different. I thought that my life was a constant struggle. Until one day, on August 23rd of 2007, my father chose to take his own life. And the day that he passed is the day my life had changed forever, forever. And I am so grateful for the opportunity that has come out of that situation, because I chose to walk through it. I chose to learn from that experience. And now I have the most incredible life. And now I get why he made those choices back then and where I was then with my mindset. So that was a turning point for me, is when he did pass away, and I was ready to take my own life. I was ready to call it quits, right? When you live a life full of fear and struggle and barely having enough money to pay for anything, it was really difficult for me. And I thought, how can I move on? How can I live any longer a life like this? And then I'd look at my husband, and I'd look at my children and think there has to be another way. And I prayed about it. I turned it over. And all of a sudden, all of these amazing free workshops started coming up. And the rest is history. I started surrounding myself in a more positive environment, learning from the people that have been down that journey. Marci Locke's one of them. And my life has completely changed. So that's kind of a snapshot of my life. Today, I have the most amazing life. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I work from home, and I get to travel worldwide and inspire and educate others on how to take their power back and empower themselves with education and learning new things, and it just keeps getting better and better.
So what was that? What was the trend? I mean, I know you said that when your father took his life, that was a huge aha and place for you. But emotionally, what made you say there's too much pain in this? I know you said I want something different. But what did it feel like to really transition? Because what I want women to hear is, I mean, a lot of times they look at you, Adrienne. I know you have a huge following and fan base of people that are like, oh, Adrienne Thomas, right? I've had people be like, when you were coaching with me, I remember, and we did that mind-body breakthrough experience. I remember people being like, I just want to do what Adrienne does. Can I follow you guys around, and can I coach you too? I was like, she's awesome. She's obviously awesome, and I only attract the best, so I knew that. But seeing you in this space, right, and where, I mean, obviously you're doing extremely well. If you're going to Disneyland 27 times a year, and when we were coaching, we're like, you just told me you're getting off after the TV show. You're off to California. You're probably hitting Disneyland, right?
Yeah, I'll be there tonight, going on a couple of rides.
I knew it. It's all good. It's all good. I'll be moving there sooner, then we'll go play. But you were in China. You were always everywhere. And so to see that big picture of like, wow, that is possible. What really shifted your mindset to what took you to go, I want something different? What was that emotional? How do you describe for women what takes them out of that place of saying, oh, I'm a mom at home,
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be where I was a single mom or your mom just going, I can't pay groceries, I can't do anything, my father took his own life is just such hard struggle, and you had a whole family that dealt with addictions, and you really, I mean, that's a huge thing to step out of. How do you inspire other women to know, you know, what that looks like on the other side, or why would you take that step? What was the emotion you were experiencing as you transitioned?
You know what, Marcy, to be honest, it was really, I hit my rock bottom. I believe that in any type of recovery, if we do not allow ourselves to hit that rock bottom and become vulnerable, we'll never walk through anything, right?
Yeah.
So that emotion that I felt was despair. I was completely lost. I had tried everything. I realized I was playing the victim. I played the victim game very well. I knew what I had been doing wasn't working. Basically, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And through prayer and meditation, I had an aha moment where something just said, you get to make the choice. The choice is mine. And literally, I believe that with 110%. My results in my life are from the choices that I make, from my attitude, right? I'm sure you've heard this through Kirk Duncan, that our thoughts create actions, our actions create emotions, and our emotions create results. And so looking at anybody's results, you can always see where their thoughts are, right? So for me, that turning point was hitting that rock bottom, and people loved me enough to allow me to hit my rock bottom. You see, when my father chose to take his own life, I believe he was an alcoholic, right? I allowed him to hit his rock bottom because I had that tough love. I stayed out of his business, right? I set my boundaries. If we continue to enable, how is that person ever going to progress and move forward? Right?
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up. That's a huge point, is to people want to save someone else, and it just continues the cycle.
Right, and I hear it. I tell this to a lot of my clients, a lot of my team members now. When they're struggling, when their life is crazy and they have no balance whatsoever in their life, and they're so unhappy, I'll ask them, well, how are you? And they'll say, I'm crazy, I'm taking care of my kids, I'm doing this, I'm paying my bills, I have 3 jobs. Well, really, how are you? Right? What do you want to create? And I say it like this, imagine yourself, you're on an airplane, and it's crashing, and the air masks come down. Do you put it on your children, or do you put it on you? And I had a lady tell me, well, I'm going to put it on my daughter. I'm like, that's the whole point. You're doing it for everybody else. It's time to take care of you. Because you're worth it, right? So at that low time and that turning point in my life, I chose to put the mask on me, which looked like taking a break once a week for me, for mom, right? Whether that's a pedicure, a massage, going shopping, whatever it was, going on a walk once a week. And it surprises me how many women can relate to that.
Friday free days, baby.
Yeah, right?
I'll tell you that, right? But you said, and I want to make sure the point is clear here on what you said, that you put it on yourself versus your daughter. You said the lady chose to put on her daughter. The point is, if you don't put the mask on you and you don't have air to breathe, you're going to pass out and you're all fucked anyways. Right? Like your kids don't get the assistance. You can't save your kids if you're not even complete and whole. And most moms are experiencing this, Adrienne, where it's like trying to, and I always use the analogy, I'm sure you've heard me use this, is you're trying to fill up their cup with an empty pitcher. There's nothing to give. So then they're empty too, and you just teach them the same shit vicious cycle, which is show up for everybody else, take care of everybody else, and everyone is empty and running around in chaos. And I love that you're saying for you to create something different what I love is that you said it has to come down to, what did you do? You prayed and you meditated and said, what else? What else is possible? You asked yourself questions, and then what your mind did is you received the inspiration and said, okay, you choose. It's your choice. And then the things showed up for you to start to say, okay, if I know I want something different, I take action on it. Yes, I've heard Kirk say that because I coach Kirk.
I know. I love that man.
I love him. He's amazing. Cool. So what would you say in that experience of listening to you go from, here, I'm down in the dumps, it looks like this, to a place that's totally different. And you said pain, these are my words, but you said hitting your rock bottom was the best thing that could happen for you, right? And
right.
So many of us think pain is not a good thing, but this is where pain is the greatest gift. Would you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. Pain is, sometimes when I'm not experiencing pain, I know I'm not growing, right? Pain to me equals growth if I choose to walk through it and use it as a tool. I can either choose to walk through it, or I can choose to play the victim and sit and be paralyzed with fear and do nothing. So it's pretty powerful. Once you have that awareness and you realize that you are your own creator and that you do have that choice, when pain comes up, Marci, we worked through this last year, right? What was my thing with Disneyland and eating churros and all the bananas, all that things. There was a root cause of that. It was all that pain buried down inside. And once I addressed it, and you were holding my hand, I was able to walk through that, right?
Yeah.
And allowing,
now you're in a totally different space with it. It gave you the feedback to change it.
Yeah, and you taught me that it's all it is feedback. I appreciate and respect feedback. I love it. It's like a GPS system for me, right? It kind of guides me on the next direction to go.
Awesome. And I love the thing that allowed me to become really at peace with pain is realizing there's never a someday I won't have any pain. I see it like you do, where if we just sat around and had no urge to move or change, we'd be stagnant and we'd be bored stiff, right? It'd suck. Right. I'm like, pain shows up, so we go, oh, action signal, I don't like this, what do I get to do to move forward and change it? So pain is just a part of our process, but it truly is a gift when, like you said, we don't just keep repeating the cycle. So what did you move into to seeing that pain and saying, okay, feedback, I want something different. My life, I want it to look a different way. And maybe you can imagine, I'm sure, at the time where you were at, going, oh, I'm going to go to Disneyland 27 times a year and travel all over the world and be this epic leader. I'm sure it was just like, okay, I want to create enough money for groceries and to not stress, and I'm going to give myself a day where I go to the spa or I go do something for me. And you're saying, I'm worthy of this, I deserve this. So what were the things that allowed you, what were those biggest breakthroughs for you, or how did you create that assistance or that growth? What's the path you started to go down to change that?
I started doing my own power hour every day, or sometimes once a week, right? Progress rather than perfection. I'm not perfect. I'm not here to claim that I'm perfect, but I do love my life. I started doing power hour, and what that looks like till this day is I have a vision board. Duncan talks about the vision board. I have a vision board that I look at every morning and every night for 3 minutes at least, and I write a gratitude list. I learned this in recovery in a 12-step program that I still go to, is an attitude of gratitude is always best. So on any day, any painful day, any days that I'm not grateful, I get out my pen and paper and I write a gratitude list. Mm-hmm. It can be the car I drive, the air I breathe, the shoes I wear. Travel over to Asia and you'll be grateful for toilet paper, right?
Love it. Yes.
So I first started with the power hour and writing my gratitude list. And then I started asking myself questions on what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And I could not tell you what I wanted because I was so busy in everybody else's business but my own, which created unbalance in my life, which created anxiety and stress. And I really just sat back and read some amazing books, created my list on what I want to create in my life. And it was very superficial. It was all the external things, right? It was debt-free, making so much income every month, you know, yada, 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 right? All of that. Now that I've experienced that, it doesn't matter how much money we make. It doesn't matter about the material things that we have in our life. For me, it's the relationship with myself, relationship with God, with my friends and family, and being of service. So how I first started, just to keep it simple. Have you heard of KISS? Keep it simple,
Yep.
stupid.
Keep it simple, sexy.
Yes, yes. Keep it simple, sexy. Thank you. Just keep it simple and write a list out of what do you want? What do you want to create in your life? Does that look like creating a power hour, having time for prayer and meditation, exercise, reading a personal development book, having a massage once a month, just small, simple things like that. And I really had to force myself to take care of me, to allow myself to go to the store and buy myself something. That was the hardest thing because I knew at home we didn't have a lot of things, right? And so for me to go to the store without my family and spend $50 on a shirt, I was like, oh, it's okay. I got this, right? And it all starts with me. It all starts within. So I just felt so strongly about taking care of me first, and I just trusted that the rest would fall into place. So create your list, create your gratitude list, and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want out of life?
And what you tapped on was that if you don't shift it internally first, if you always say, well, no, I come last, there's not enough money for me to buy a $50 shirt for me, and I should put this towards my family, and you stay in that place, whatever you are focused on, you get more of. And so you get more lack and limitation. So it does really take saying, bullshit, I want something different. How do I move forward? And I love that you said, I'd love you to expand on this. It doesn't matter how much money you make. And see, this is where I live now, is that every single aspect of my life gets to be awesome. I get to be fully connected in my relationships with my little boys and family and friends, fully aligned with my God. I get to have a rockin' body of health because I'm worthy of it. I'm a goddess. Why would I not have a rockin' body of health to seize life and get full of energy? I get to have a financial abundance because as a goddess, I know that God's given me the ability to say, you can have abundance in everything. So you said, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter, all the material things. What matters is, and it all comes down to what we're really talking about today, which is balance. It all comes down to, are you living the life you want to experience? And it's funny how in that other mindset, you go through a life of just doing busy shit.
Yeah.
I love how I say shit. Everyone's like, you got to throw the slang on there, March. So it's like, everyone's like, hey, locking down the truth, March, lock shit. We could just make it a tagline. I just thought I'd point that out. But you're either in busy shit, or you get to, you look back on your life and go, oh, well, I did a lot of busy shit. That was awesome. Or does it matter that you got to take time to, relish in your kids? This morning my kids had a crazy hair day. And I'm so grateful that I get to be here to do their hair stuff, and I get to go from TV to I'm actually going to go meet them at the nanny's picking them up, and I'm going to go meet them at the jump park and go play and jump around. But my life wouldn't have shifted just like yours if we didn't start to move through that space of balance. So expand on a little bit, where do you I know you said you start to say, okay, I'm going to do massage for me every month. But what's the bigger picture for you of creating balance now? Not saying, well, I'm a busy mom that's doing a huge business. How do you create balance now with all that you have on? Instead of it getting worse, does it get better?
Absolutely, it gets better. And I hear a lot of leaders in my organization that will say, I don't know how you do it. My phone is ringing off the hook. I don't know how you do it. And to be honest, each and every day it gets better, Marci. My life is pretty dang sweet. I love it. And balance for me, like I said, is living a life free of concerns and without fear. Like I said before, my life once was controlled. I felt like I was controlling my life rather than being a powerful creator that I am. And for me, how I do that is I obviously have my vision board, but I get organized. Every Sunday, I have my planner out, and it's called a strategic planner, and I plan out for the whole month, right? I write down my goals. I write down the income I want to create. I write down Any organizations I want to donate with. You know, we work with Healing Hands Foundation. We have service projects that we love doing. Things like that. I just get clear on what I want to create, and I do it. When you live in your own business, in your own space, life just becomes simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I am not living a life of fear, rather than I step into faith, everything just happens. And life truly is simple. And again, it comes back to it's all a choice. What do you choose, right? Was that your question? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, and you're choosing, everything that you're saying is full of nuggets of like truths. You're choosing to design your day. You're choosing to design your life, and that's the difference. You keep saying as a creator, and that's what we got to get clear on is it's not like, oh, well, how do I have balance? You create balance. You give yourself balance. You said you had to schedule. I know I had to. I couldn't imagine as a single mom. I went from doing the waitress thing to going, okay, I get to share my passion, my purpose, and I'd be up till 2 a.m. and then up at 5 a.m. To work out and then start my day and do my thing. And I couldn't imagine having 10 minutes for me. Even though I was a mom, I wasn't present. I wasn't being a mom. I had to schedule in, okay, 3 times a week we're going to go play after school, or we're going to, go do this. And then it became, you do that, and then it's like you start to expand that creation, and things open up that you can do more and more and more. Now it's where it's like I'm done every day at 3 because I just get to, that's when I go into mom mode, and I just get to be mom.
Right.
But during that time I get to share my passion. If I'm traveling and speaking, I'm sharing my passion, my purpose, and it gets to be awesomeness in all things. But do you think that a lot of that was dropping the box of the stories to say that that was okay or that was possible? What did you deal with in that to allow yourself to move forward in it? Because I know that was big for me. I had to drop a lot of stories that said it had to look a certain way.
Right. And one of my past mentors, he reminded me, when you hold on to your history, you do it at the expense of your destiny.
Ah, that was a gold nugget. Say that again.
When you hold on to your history, you do it at the expense of your destiny. Am I destined to be a drug addict? Am I destined to sit in my house, being in debt, living a life of fear?
Hell no.
Or is my destiny to be a powerful creator, to be a wonderful, beautiful goddess, right?
Yeah.
To be of service, to be a fantastic wife and mother and sister and daughter, and right?
Disneyland guru?
Yeah, Disneyland guru. What, Disneyland wouldn't even exist if it weren't for me. Gosh, I'd
Your title.
fun that. No, it's what is our life purpose if we're living in the past? So yeah, I did. I chose to, and I get to every day drop those stories. Yesterday's done. 15 minutes ago is over with, right? My intention and goal every day is to live in this present moment right now with you, and I'm super grateful. I'm so grateful to be here.
And I love
Life is amazing if we choose to live in that space. We can make things as hard as we want or as easy as we want. It's all a choice.
Oh, there's a genius that says that.
You taught me that. You taught me
like
that.
The greatest tool ever to go, it's as easy or as hard as we want to make it, all based on our perception.
Right. And I remember doing one of your amazing opportunity assignments. I was bawling my eyes out last year. And I said, Marci, I don't have time. I'm so crazy, da-da-da-da-da. And you said, what do you want? How do you want to feel? I have never forgot that. And there's days where it does get hard. Life happens, right?
Yeah.
I hear Marci's voice say, what do you want? How do you want to feel? And then I move forward. I don't want to live a life of regret. I don't want to live a life of anger and resentment and hatred. That does something to our bodies physically, right?
Yeah.
You talked about it in one of your CDs, who did the study on the water, when you say hate and hurtful words, right? It changes the water.
Yep.
So, yeah, work for towards your destiny. Let go of the past. It doesn't even exist anymore. And that's what I've been working on this year, is really letting go of a lot of lies, and asking myself, is it true? Is it true that I'm a failure? Is it true that I'm not a good mom? Is it true that I should have dinner on the table every night?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So today I get to look at, no, it's not true. Yes, I'm a fabulous mother. And I get to hire somebody to cook dinner for my family on those busy days. And I get to hire somebody to do my taxes and certain things like that. Or I have great friends where we get to trade services with one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the funds to hire somebody out, be creative and ask for assistance. We're all in this together. We do not have to walk alone. We're all in this together. And whoever tells me that they're strong enough, they can do life on their own and they've got this under control and they're perfect, I would love to meet you, okay?
Well, everyone does, Adrienne, but that's a mask. That's a bullshit story and a lie.
Right.
And I know the weight is too heavy for one person. Like, living in a perfectionist identity place, I thought asking for help was weak. I thought I had to be strong and show up this way, and I was living a life of shit, but pretending that I had it all together. And like now, I see the gratitude and the gift of vulnerability. And I mean, it's like you had me in tears just listening to you, because I'm like, I know how much you do for so many people, and it was such a blessing and an honor to assist you in that space. And in the same retrospect, like you shared that vulnerability with me, that allowed me to say, well, what is possible? What do we get to do? And how do you move through these things? And now it's like you've expanded to such high degrees. You help so many people. And I know people got to do that for me too. I've had my coaches and mentors. It's all support and growth and expansion. That's what we're here for. And where would we get the crazy thought that we were just put here to just do it alone and guard ourselves and not have it in? So I know that's something you teach, is that the weight is too heavy on your own.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And I tell everybody, numbers is power. When we stand alone, right, we can accomplish so much more when we accept assistance from other people. I love that you said that you used to feel that way, that if you couldn't do everything, you felt weak. And I can totally relate. I used to feel if I didn't have groceries and dinner and, the list goes on. All of us moms know, right? I used to feel like I was a terrible mother and a terrible wife.
And you're an amazing mother. I've seen you. And an amazing wife.
So are you. Yeah.
Thanks, love. I'm a wife to myself maybe right now, but well, minus that one. But I'm a good mom, for sure.
You are. You're incredible. Yeah, so drop the bullshit stories. That's plain and simple, right, Marci?
I love it. I love it. Cool. So you're saying, like, I know really wherever you're at, you're in your perfect place. That's something you always expand on with people is it doesn't matter. And this is part of the crazy process, is to think that perfection for you should be perfection for me or perfection for someone else. When we all have 37.2 trillion different cells in our bodies. We have different experiences. My sister and I, it's so funny to look at how in the same home, we both turned out with different belief systems and different perceptions of life. And so it's crazy to think that perfect is what society says it is. And I always say, even earlier you said, I'm progressing, I'm not perfect. And I wanted to be like, no, you are, because you're really perfect in being you right now, right? And that's really what you're saying, is we're all in our perfect place. So kind of share where you really teach people how they get clear with being in that wherever they're at, and how they can move forward with their thoughts, their actions, their patterns, their emotions, etc., to create that space of just moving forward and growing.
When I work with people, it's interesting to hear their thoughts and look at their results. And I love assisting others on creating just awareness on those patterns, right? Mm-hmm. And you're right on. We are exactly where we chose to be right now. You chose to be in your office. I'm choosing to be here. I'm choosing to go to California in a couple of hours. We are our own creator. And so I love just listening to people in our organization and who I work with, where they're at, and assist them in becoming aware that they've chosen that.
Mm-hmm.
And are you okay with that? If you're not, what is some plans of actions that you can create? And so then we go through a list on different scenarios on what would it look like if you did this, right, Marci? You talk about when we work out. Sometimes I'll get to my max point. This morning I got to my max point and I said, you know what, I got this. And I got off the treadmill, took a 5-10 second break, and I got back up and I went. Where in the past that would stop me, and I'd probably just go home and be a couch potato, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love working and walking through with people on that. I'm just creating awareness and showing them that they're exactly where they're supposed to be at that time, and the power. I almost just said what you always say, the power of choice.
There you go. See, my words are in your head. It's all good.
Yeah,
you listen to my stuff all the time. So.
Oh, you said a lifelong coach. But it's good because the results show, right?
Say that one more time.
I said it's good though because the results show, right?
That's right. That's why I'm like, you're phenomenal, Adrienne, and I'm honored that I got to coach you and get to have you as part of an experience and learn from you as well, and see how much you, even in the last year, how much you're doing and how much you've grown, and getting to really create a friendship with you that felt like family, and to go to Disneyland. That was like the best thing ever. So your family is super dear to me. But I wouldn't ask you to be here unless you had the results, because that's how strongly I believe in this mission and this passion, this purpose, to share this message of what is possible, allowing women especially to see that they are, like you said, the creator of their world. A goddess is just a creator. And we can all sit back and go, okay, I'm either creating shit or I'm creating awesome. It's totally up to me. But a true goddess knows when you get tapped in, like you have, with who you are and your worth and your value, why would you create anything but epic awesomeness in every aspect of your life? Why wouldn't every aspect of your life be abundant? And that's what we get to grow into and allow them to see. And so before I kind of go on, I want to make sure everyone knows how they get it. I don't know that we've necessarily clearly stated what you really do and what you really work with, but how they can get in touch with you, how they can, find out more information of like a lot of what you do. Will you share some of that real quick so we have make sure that everyone knows how they can get in touch with you and move forward? I know you've got a free ebook and some different things that you offer.
Yeah. So if any of you would like to reach out with me, you guys are more than welcome to email me at my doTERRAHealth@gmail.com, and check out my website. It's usecertifiedpureoils.com. And on there, I'm offering free samples. We actually have an amazing oil, an essential oil called Balance, and it's a really grounding oil.
I use all the time. I love Balance.
Do you love that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you using it every morning?
I use it all the time. I use a ton of oils. They're amazing. So Balance is definitely one of my favorites. I put it on my boys too.
Good. So I put a couple of drops on bottom of your feet. It's a very grounding oil. It's great for blood circulation. I'm offering that for free and a free ebook. There's a great ebook on how to use essential oils and create and help any elements that you may have and treat them in a more natural way. So go ahead and email me, message me,
now, babes, because I know you're use certified pure oils. That's USE.certified.
Yes.
I'm like, what is this little thing called? Pure oil. Right? Yes, that's why I'm like, asterisk, that's not it. What is the word, right? I lift weights for a living half the time. I don't study English. So use.certified-pure-oils.com is how they get in touch, get the free ebook. They could message you on Facebook. Does that work also?
Yes.
Or and then what's the doTERRA's DOTERRA? You said doTERRA Health.
Right? HEALTH.
And that one's just the doTERRAHealth.com is where they reach out to you?
That's my email. That's at gmail.com.
Perfect. Awesome. So, guys, take advantage of that because, I know I use the oils a lot for several things to be able to work with my boys whenever my little one starts to cough. It's like I put Breathe on him, and every night we rub lavender into their feet, and just having those essential ingredients. And Deep Blue, Adrienne, oh my gosh, you know this. Okay, when people work out with me.
All over my lower back and thighs this morning. It was great.
That's right. Deep Blue is one of my favorite things for recovery with sore muscles. So whenever people get into my program, or actually on my Mind Body Breakthrough program, people even that use my workouts, my assistant literally, it's like in my membership site that says, hey, here's some recommendations. So I teach you how to do a green smoothie, and you can put MSM flakes in to help assist your body recover faster. But the other thing, I'm like, get Deep Blue. Get Deep Blue and stretch. And you know that, and it's like one of my favorite things ever, especially if you're going to run like a half marathon or any type of race, and you put that on before and then after. Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal what it does for your body. So it's like you guys have other stuff now too with it, like a roller. I haven't used that, but I love the lotion. It's like, that's the Deep Blue. So that's phenomenal. So definitely at least reach out to Adrienne and take advantage of getting the balance and learning some things the way that those can totally assist your body, which is huge. You can also, again, go to mindbody90.com to get the video series to literally teach you how to break down the lies and some of these tools that Adrienne's talking about in getting the truth to living in a body of health and a life of health as well. So Adrienne, what would you, when you let go of the past, and you now move forward into experience your life, which I love that you kind of said is a big part of what you do. What would you say for is the next step for women to create that balance, other than to say, okay, I'm going to schedule this in my life? What are some of the other things that you feel like you've implemented into your life that have allowed you to create in such a huge way? Because you've created big things. I know you're like being all modest, darling, but you created huge, epic shit, right? You have. You're amazing. You blow my mind. So, and your family's phenomenal. You're doing it in all aspects. So, other than just to say, I got to look within, and because everything you're experiencing externally is a reflection of your internal world. But what are the tools that you feel like have assisted you the most in making those changes?
Well, first of all, having you as a mentor and was incredible. That was a huge shift in my life. I also work with another mentor, Dr. Pope. We call him the Pope.
He's amazing.
I meet with him every Wednesday till this day for an hour and a half. I have for over a year, and that has been great assistance. My first suggestion would be aware of what you speak. What are the stories you tell yourself? Right? Marci has a great CD. It just gives me chills thinking about it. I actually listen to it at the end of my workout every day. I just do it. It's a great reminder.
Aww, I love you.
With me every day, Marci.
So glad.
What are the stories that you tell yourself? My story was, I'm not good enough. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm not successful. Right? All of those wonderful stories. Be mindful of the stories you're telling yourself. Start there, right? Just keep it simple and start there. And get clear on your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? My why in the beginning was to get out of debt and to have more financial freedom and time with my family. Once I got clear on my why, which is one of them is to do more service projects and to assist drug addicts and alcoholics, right? There's amazing essential oils out there that can assist that has assisted me walking through quitting smoking. It's now been 5 years. Things like that. Get clear on your why. Be aware of what you speak and the stories you tell yourself. And get Marci Locke CDs or hire her as a coach. I mean, do some type of personal development. I would not be where I'm at right now if it weren't for Marci, if it weren't for my higher power, for Dr. Pope, for my husband, right? My children are the perfect teachers. They are a mere reflection of myself. Mary Paxson.
Wow, love that you said that. They are your little growth partners. But do you think you had to switch a mentality being a mom? Okay, so let's get into this. Like being a mom, there's a lot of stories like, oh, I can't because I'm a mom and it has to look this way, or my kids have to come first, which we kind of talked about. But I know I got to shift the perception of understanding that I wasn't here to teach my children or here to have to show up a certain way for my children. Literally, they're the perfect growth experience for me as well. And seeing them as growth partners and what we get to do together, my kids blow me away, honestly. Like, and your husband and I, getting to coach a lot, got to talk a lot about the triggers that hit us that make us want to react negatively as a parent, and then creating the parent that we want to be. And when we're just authentic and vulnerable, I'd love you to get into how this has shifted with your family, that you using these tools when you're authentic and vulnerable, your kids get to see what's real. And I think what most of us have experienced growing up is parents, we want to wear a mask. We wouldn't ever want them to read our journal or to know our problems from the past or the bad things that have happened. And it's just like, I show up this way, I show up this way, I show up this way. And the kids think that that's how they have to show up to be loved too. And when we get to be authentic and real, you know, and it blows my mind. For sometimes I'll say something, my kids are so different. My youngest is super in tune to energy and sensitive to feelings. And so I can say something with just like a little bit of a heavier tone, just a little bit louder, and he can like shut down, and he takes it as, you're mad at me, you think I'm a bad kid, I'm stupid for doing this. But he speaks it, he says, and I can see his energy shift and say, what just happened? What's wrong, babe? What's going on? And he says, well, that makes me feel like, that looks like I'm a bad kid and I'm not doing good enough or something. I'm like, whoa, I'm so sorry, that's not what I intended. So maybe elaborate a little bit on how did using these tools of having coaches and mentors and learning these tools, how's it shifted not just you as, hey, I got to take care of me so I can show up. What's the bigger picture? How has it shifted everything? Because that's what we need to see. Don't you think that it's really not, because they can misinterpret this. They can say, oh, selfish, you're just focusing on you. And they're going to create whatever perception they want. And if they're in that space, that's okay. That's totally fine. Like, they get to choose their happy or their unhappy shit. I'm fine with it. I'm unattached. But what's the bigger picture of doing this? How does it really affected everything in your world?
You know, you have hit a really soft spot in my heart, and I would look at my kids and I would think I had to fix them. I would look at my husband and think I had to fix them. And just like I said, they're a perfect reflection of myself. And life is so simple. It's us that complicates it. And once I started doing all this personal development and started digging in deep within and finding out who I am, I still am on this beautiful journey, learning more about myself and figuring out who I am and becoming my true authentic self. My kids have shifted. They have shifted 100%. It's beautiful. It's so easy and simple. Once again, I have focused on taking care of me, taking care of mom, and the rest falls into place. I need do nothing for them. Literally, I show up. I am an example. I take care of me, and the rest falls into place. I didn't tell them. I could if you were in my home, you'd go in their room. They have a vision board. They know where they're going. They know what they want to create today. They know how important exercise is. They know
lock it. There you go.
They take supplements on their own. They drink their protein shakes, right? I'm not telling them to do this. They see it by example. That is what all of this personal development, this road of healing, it's never about a destination. It's about the journey and enjoying that journey. And I am just grateful I get to experience it with my children. It's just, it's amazing. Incredible. So, again, I mean, it's simple, you guys. I started working on myself, and it just started manifesting in my children and my husband, and I have the most amazing relationship with my husband today that I never thought possible. So again, I guess the bottom line is getting clear on your why. What do you want? What do you want to create? And if you feel you're not worth it, what is buried deep down inside of you on that feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
And what you just described was so big, because by you, so in the limited mindset, we say, no, it should look this way. I have to self-sacrifice. I'm the martyr here. I get to take care of my kids and run around, and there's not even 10 minutes for me to work out, and blah, 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 right? And we experience shit. And our kids don't ever learn to be creators or learn solutions. They learn that if they don't show up a certain way and do the same thing and self-sacrifice their life, then no one will love them, validate them, or they won't be good enough. You just expressed how when you just show up in your truth,
Yeah.
honoring who you are. Because if you're truly a daughter or son of God, how could we think that it's not okay to take time for ourselves, or to show ourselves love, or to give self-care, or right? And that's crazy. Yeah. So you're saying when you do that, what you've done is you've empowered, you've given your children the greatest gift you could ever give them, that you could never give them when you're just trying to hand them everything and be in their business and force them to do things. And I know that was big for me to look at the self-conscious Marci, the scared little girl inside that was so afraid of judgment. I remember the first time, you probably heard this on one of my CDs in my program, talking about beliefs, right? And how the first time my oldest, Skylar, was going to go to kindergarten, and he came in and he had like crazy alfalfa hair. He'd seen, like, what's that called? Little Rascals, right?
Yeah.
And he liked alfalfa, and so his hair was like this. And I was like, thinking instantly, the thoughts were, oh my gosh, he's going to be made fun of, he's going to hate school, and then he's never going to want to go, and my poor little child, and I want to save him from his pain. And I was about to say, let's fix it, let's do something, let's change it. And I remembered, that's awareness, I was like, whoa, if I say, you won't be accepted unless you look like this, let's change your hair to look like this, you have to wear these clothes, you have to show up this way, you have to act this way, then I am telling him, you are not good enough in who you are. And I won't accept you, or other people won't accept you unless you show up in some fucking mask. And that, I was so grateful when I learned these tools to go, whoa, that was all about me. You just said, when you said the mirror, they show up as a mirror for you. I was like, whoa, I was the one who was afraid he'd be judged, and that's because I'm afraid of being judged. And I remember I couldn't go to the grocery store without worrying about how I looked. Now my kids, you know, like, they wear the craziest outfits and clothes, and it's like, but they're so happy. So don't you think that's what you're really teaching, is when you tap into this, you drop the shit stories that are proving yourself right, proving the beliefs that you have right, and you've heard me say it, do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? And why not choose happy? I love that you just gave that analogy of how powerful your children are, and how happy they are, because they know they get the bigger picture, that they get to create the life that they want, and it's up to them.
Right. And they're aware of that, you know, and our environment is a great teacher as well. The people in our lives, our work, our finances, our health, all of that is a direct result of our thoughts, right? And what we're putting out there. So I remember I was completely numb when I first started looking and wanting to change things up in my life. I was completely numb. I thought, I'm just here. I'm not doing any of this, right? So I'm so grateful that my 11-year-old and my 14-year-old now know that they are their own creator. They get to make their own choice on how they want to feel today, what they want to create. And that's it, right? It makes my job as a parent a lot easier. Mm-hmm. A lot easier. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling my kids that they need to have good grades. They're choosing good grades. They're choosing life, to live life in its fullest, right? And now with the work that I'm in, my business it's literally created more balance in my life. Mm-hmm. It has created more time with my children. Financially, it's been amazing. I'm able to take my children around the world so they can get that different experience, right? And know that there's beautiful people all around the world. Mm-hmm. I've had more time to be able to get personally mentored by you. Wake up in the morning with my husband and go work out for an hour, right? We're not rushing to work. We're not rushing and doing life. We are being our true authentic self. Doing is too hard.
That's right. I love that.
To be. So it's amazing. So I think for any advice out there, if you are stuck, prayer, meditation, power hour, take care of you first. Put that mask on you.
And I want to go ahead, finish.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you say your being, and you talk a lot about meditation, I have found that is, in our world today, in our society today, we have so much going on with technology and like it's Facebook and it's internet and it's TV distraction and it's like radio, and our world is bombarded by noise that when we get triggered or we're so used to not feeling connected to who we are, we literally are conditioned to go to distraction and go outside of ourselves. That's why when people get into my program, it's like, I don't want to watch TV anymore. It's like they want to be connected to who they are, right? And I found, this is just a plug for even meditation, that when I committed myself to meditation and to the visualization of seeing, myself pre-paving or creating the life that I want, and then allowing my mind to unwind and just be clear and go internally for peace, that's true peace. And most people never experience that because they're always seeking outside themselves to find peace. It's like, oh, I feel anxious, something's going on, I'll just distract myself, I'll turn on the TV, I'll turn on music, I'll turn on this, and I'll reach out for food, and we don't create peace inside. And when you created peace inside, you honored your worthiness, you said, this is what I get to have, this is what I deserve and I'm worthy of, and everything else just gets to show up. But something you said is being. And society operates out of doing instead of being. But what I believe the separation is you get to be the person you want to be, and this is what you've been teaching the whole time about balance. Do the things that person would do, and then you have the results. And society tends to go, well, yeah, I'll make time for me when this project's done, when my kids are older, when money finally lands in my lap, when my husband shows up for me and treats me nicely, then I'll show up for him and then I'll treat him nicely. It's always outside of yourself. And the message that truly, it will never change until you are taking responsibility for everything that you're experiencing and you're being present in it. And I love how you put that.
And what are you committed to, right? Are you committed to living a life of lies and fear? Are you committed to success and service and abundance and worthiness, right?
You will get 100% of whatever you're committed to. So when people say, well, yeah, I'll try to do this, I'm like, okay, awesome, that means you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because trying is just another word that shows in your subconscious you're not really sure, you're not really wanting it. Trying or committed. I love that. And true. You can be committed to shit. Let's say it together. Yeah.
You can be committed to shit.
Or you can be committed to awesomeness, which is what Adrienne has done. And to go, I just want to reiterate, going from where you literally, your father committed suicide, you were dealing with drugs, addiction, smoking, couldn't pay for your groceries, didn't know how you were going to take care of your children, and just feeling a life of total lack and limitation. And that pain was the greatest gift for you to say, I don't want this fucking shit anymore. I get to be responsible. You probably didn't say it in those words, but that's how I'm saying it for you. And you said, I want something different. And as soon as you just expanded your mind to just looking at what you hated, and you said, I want something different. What is possible? What can I do? And you prayed and you meditated. Things showed up, and you just started down this process. And I know today you are still doing it. And that's why you said, my life gets greater and greater every day. And my life is the same. I live the most amazing life, and it just gets greater and greater. And when shit shows up, it's the perfect gift for me to allow me to have greater, so I get more clear on the feedback and I move forward, because you're choosing to move forward through it. So to go from there to where you are living such an epic life, you're traveling the world, you have two amazing, beautiful boys that are phenomenal. I can attest for that, hanging out around them. They were so freaking awesome, even and cute to my little boys. You have an amazing husband, you have a financial abundance, a spiritual connection, and yet you're still working with coaches and mentors.
Absolutely, and I probably will for the rest of my life. I love personal development. I love digging deep inside. I love connecting with powerful people like you. That's what life's all about.
Yeah, because it gives you freedom. I know
Absolutely.
I will never be without a coach. I will always have a coach. I have six currently.
Ow!
Six. I'm fucking committed. Yo. It's true. I was just in Texas and I spent 6 hours one day with one of my mentors, another 5 hours with him another day because I'm building. I'm creating my new calling, Adrienne, is my Goddess Revolution experience and having women step up even to that next level of ultimately tapping into their goddess. And between my two energy coaches, my two business coaches, I have a TV speaking celebrity coach from all my TV that I do appearances. And then now I have my, I don't even know what I call him, just he's like my massive mentor of greatness. So it's like I definitely feel that if you want something, you just get to say, how do I get to do that? How do I learn from someone that's on the path? And you're one of those people. So for anyone that is interested in truly learning how to balance out their lives more, and learn to literally heal their bodies more with health, with the oils, with their family, I love, 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 love the doTERRA oils. Use them all the time. My boys, we don't ever go to the doctor. Every time there's any symptoms showing up, we go internal. We look at the emotional attachment, and then we use oils, and we just focus on creating health, and literally that gets to be our experience. So definitely take advantage of what Adrienne offered, which is the free balance oil. And these oils are awesome. I mean, why do you think they gave Jesus frankincense
and myrrh?
Yeah, I know. I love frankincense too. I put that on too. I mean, when you study them and get into them, they all have these deep emotional connections. And I remember being in Disneyland with you, or when we all went to breakfast down by the beach. That was such a beautiful place. And you were talking about another oil that allowed you to open up certain chakras and emotions. And I was like, oh, I want it, Adrienne. I want it.
Yeah.
It's like kid in the can in, well, how do I say this? Kid in a veggie store for me. I don't know. I have no desire for candy. I wouldn't put shit in my body. I'm way more valuable than that. So, Adrienne, again, allow everyone, first off, any last thoughts, or I would love for you to share on if for these people that are in this darkest hole, just like they might be experiencing what you were, or something not even that in depth, what would you suggest to them is that first action call for them to start changing their life?
Allow yourself to hit rock bottom, and you remind yourself that you're in your perfect place right now. Wherever you're at right now, you are perfectly there. So embrace it. Love that. Power Hour, that's free. I know Marci and I, we've talked a lot about coaches. There's a lot of coaches out there that get paid very good money for what they do, and it's very well worth it. Mm-hmm. For those of you that don't have the funds yet, like I was a few years ago, Marci has amazing CDs. Amazing CDs. Kirk Duncan, there's so many powerful people out there that you can purchase their CDs for under $50. Mm-hmm. Listen to those. Start picking up personal development books. My favorite book is The Slight Edge.
I love that one. That's a great one.
Like small, consistent things each day, one day at a time. I swear he's in the program. I loved his
language. Inch by inch, life is a cinch, yard by yard, it's hard. That's Jeff Olson right there.
Yeah. So be easy on yourself. Write a gratitude list. Ask yourself, what do you want? Figure out your why. If you're unsatisfied with your relationships, your finances, your body, right? Write those down and make it a goal. Hire Marci. Log on to her free app that she's offering everybody. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
I'm so excited about it.
Me too. But take it a day at a time. 24 hours is all that we have. Yesterday doesn't matter. Tomorrow doesn't matter. It's where we're at right now. So keep it simple. Write your gratitude list. And have a power hour. Just a power hour alone will change your life. Absolutely.
And Adrienne, that can be, it doesn't necessarily have to be an hour. That shuts a lot of people down. No. It can be 5 minutes of like, what's my intention today? What's my focus? You said write out your why, gratitude, all these things. Then it's like, just now that you know that, now that you're clear on what do I want so your mind can actually see it, now just start moving forward. What do I get to do today to move towards that? And just taking little tiny actions, like you said.
And I ask myself every day, like today I didn't want to go to the gym, right? There was a lot of things that I am planning on doing today. I ask myself, well, what do I want? what is the feeling that I want to experience? I got up and I went to the gym, had an amazing workout, right? Had a Marci workout, used her bands, it was great. So ask yourself, what do you want to experience right now? Get off the victim wagon and start creating and become that powerful creator that you are meant to be. It's all in us. We're all children of God. We're all powerful creators. It's us that's holding us back. We are our own worst enemy, right? And I love what Marci says. 80% of what we tell ourselves, we believe. We only believe 20% of what others tell us. 80%.
Yep.
Be mindful of those stories that you're telling yourself.
Awesome. I couldn't say anything else, babes. You totally wrapped it up and rocked it out hardcore with tons of truth and tons of nuggets for people. Now they just get to choose whether to implement it and create a life of awesomeness like you have and being in their truth, or to stay in shit. So thank you for locking that down. So again, I'm going to give you guys the last listen ups, because this is where you get to take it, get to have one of the free oils from Adrienne. It's the use.certified-pure-oils.com, and then it's also the doTERRA@gmail.com.
My doTERRA help.
My doTERRA. Make sure you have the my on there. Thank you for checking that, babes. And she's got the free ebook and the balance oil that she's going to send you. So Adrienne is amazing. Thank you so much, darling, for being here and sharing your truth and just being an epic example, because, again, I wouldn't have you on here if you weren't living as this epic example. And I'm just honored and blessed to know you and to hear how you're doing, and you to stand and be this amazing example of a woman that truly is living in her goddess self and remembers and acknowledges that power, the power that you have within. So thank you for being here. Love you dearly.
Thank you, Marci. Love you so much. Thank you for everything.
You're so welcome. So, and lastly, you guys can get the app that's coming out. It's actually, I think, going to be released next week. So they're putting in. So what that looks like is you're going to have access in the palm of your hand to, you could go to train and see tons of tips in the gym, to actually some of my workouts with bands for free, to meditations, visualizations, recipes, our favorites for kids, for traveling, for, you know, my favorites, to my members in my Mind Body Breakthrough Program favorites. So that's actually coming out next week. If you want to be able to be one of the early birds, that you sign up for that and you'll get access to it as soon as it's available. You can get that at marcilockapp.com. If you go to mindbody90.com, that is where I have created an entire free video series just to teach you tons of content and tools on breaking through the bullshit. That's what I do. I like to call out the bullshit and break right through it, and like the fire that cleanses the soul and then lights you up to remembrance of who you truly are. So that's at mindbody90.com. I am actually, so we are taking on applications right now for our next Mind Body Breakthrough experience, where we have people all around the world that get to do a mastermind together and go through that. And then also now taking applications for my Goddess Revolution experience. Yo snap. That's intense awesomeness. So hopefully you guys, if you're looking to really go into that space and learn how to break through the body and the mindset to live in the life that you want, you can go to MindBody90 and you can get the free video series applied there. Go again to connect with Adrienne and be able to get the balance oil and her awesome free ebook, and just choose to implement what she taught. Use those gold nuggets and rock it out and lock it down. Adrienne, you have anything else you want to add, babes?
Nope. Love you, girl. Thank you for having me on.
Okay.
Have a good day, everybody.
Go have a good flight to California. I'll be there in July. Moving there in July, and then you let me know. I'll meet you in Cali or in Disneyland. We'll go play, and you can come stay with me too.
Awesome.
Okay, love you, darling. Everyone that's listening, again, hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful, powerful day. Remember that the power of choice is yours. Choose your best life and go lock it down.
Lock it down.